I'm ready to start this pod and slap the shit out of it this week. You feel me? That just seemed to be the mood that everybody in this week. That's how we set the tone, bro. 72 of them. 72 and 10 like it's back in 96. You feel me? Whenever you hear that MVP chant, you already know what's the deal. It's the most valuable podcast in the world. Episode 72 of the Hitmen podcast. Chris in here. MG in here. What's the word, dog? How you feeling?
Was good, man.
I'm hyped.
Chilling, man. We had a lot of action this past weekend. You know what I'm saying? UFC on Sundays.
You feel me? WrestleMania this weekend, in case y'all ain't know. You heard?
To this day.
Dog. Are we going there with it? We gonna talk about it. We ain't gonna talk about it too long. It's been done to death all week, but we gotta get our pound of flesh in. You feel me?
Let's do it. Will got one in too.
You heard me? That wasn't even about that joke. That shit was about the 2 years that he been drugged through the mud, these crime memes, all of that After Earth debacle, that trash ass movie. That was all that frustration built up. You feel me?
Bro, the funny part, bro, he was so calm throughout the whole thing. He walked up there so calm, walked away so calm.
Like slow motion, like he was back in Bad Boys 3 or 4, you feel me?
A little bit of Michael Bay movie action. Nah.
Before we go any further, let's get this shit out the way, dog. Yo, make sure y'all tap in with the THP, man. We everywhere that podcasts live. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, all of that. Had to pay the bills. Make sure y'all check us out in the mailbag, the Hitmen Podcast at gmail.com. Tap in on the socials. It's at Hitmen Podcast, at Labeled and Known. My brother MG is at Virtuoso Sports on Twitter. One of the best in the game when it comes down to breaking down the science of the sports. You feel me?
Appreciate that, bro.
How was your weekend, bro? How was your week? I know this is a late one. We on Thursday right now. Usually we come out Wednesdays, but
it's been good, man. This was, did a little bit of sneaker shopping, so I'm in a good mood.
Yeah.
Always in a good mood when you grab a couple pair of kicks,
Straight up. I got my daughter laced. Yellow is her color for whatever reason. I don't know. It just looked real good on her. And I was trying to keep from buying stuff this week. I'm like, Lord, please don't let nothing come out. Don't let nothing come out. They did a restock of the 13, the Retro 13, the Del Sols.
Yeah, they did.
I'm like, damn.
I just missed it, man. I just missed it because I spent my money on something else. Because I copped them Tokyo Biohacks. So
Yeah.
I was tapped out.
Damn! Shout out to the kid getting back into it. We're gonna get into it a little bit more down the line when we get to the rundown. But I had a real good week, bro. I did 3 pods last week. Shout out to Terry Roseland podcast. Then I drove down to Atlanta, got on road because the flights was way too expensive. I jayed down on the I Ain't Going podcast, and we had a mega soul. Part 1 came out this week. Part 2 is next week. So shout out to my brothers CJ and Darrow over at I Ain't Going. Make sure y'all tap in with them. They are next door neighbors on the podcast space, so they're everywhere that we at. I Ain't Going show on YouTube everywhere. But that was a good time, and then obviously, like you said, we had a bunch of action. Last night, I was at the McDonald's All-American game. You can't see me right now, but I got the All-American shirt, McDonald's All-American. Shout out to Adidas and the McDonald's All-American game. Got to see a few of the dope prospects. Got to chop it up with some of them. Kiki Rice going to UCLA, Derek Lively going to Duke. Obviously, Armani Bailey was there, right? UCLA. Yeah. He was pretty much the talk of the town. Nick Smith Jr. Anthony Black made his announcement. He's going to Arkansas too with the guys. And then I think Keontae George was one of the high prospects out there too. So it was a good time. Great to see the young kids in their element. I got to see a really dope battle between Lauren Betts and Janiyah Barker. The scrimmage was dope. It was one of them things where, like, you don't really think about where you at history-wise when you in the moment, but when we talk about the All-American game, everybody always thinks about LeBron's game. You know what I'm saying? Zion was sold out last year, or 2 years ago, excuse me. But it was real good. It was real dope to see the young boys and the young girls in their element. But Flage as well. She has an NIL deal going to LSU, committed to LSU. She's one of the top prospects.
Buddy. Yeah, I didn't see her.
Yeah, she signed to Rock Nation. Just found that out the other day. Shout out to Brooke Weisward. She was one of our announcers at the game. But it was just real dope to see them in that element. They real down to earth, real cool, and it's just dope to make that connection now You feel me? So when they make it to the pros, bro, you just watch them along for the ride. It's like watching your little homies grow up.
And it's a lot of history at that game too. I mean, everybody then came through there. So.
Yeah, Sersky. So it was good to have it back in Chicago. I know it disappeared for a second, but it was back over at Wintrust. So again, shout out to the folks at Adidas. Shout out to McDonald's, Ronald McDonald House. We had Kelly Dolan there. All the way around, good vibes. Lil Baby performed at halftime of the men's game. They voted him in as a performer, so it was real smooth, man. Real good vibe. Great to be around that energy and just get an inside look into what's coming next for the pros. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Now that we got that out the way, bro, let's get off into it. You feel me? Y'all know how we get down each and every week. Ain't no real way to start this without this music. So boom, in case you've been living under a rock, you already know what the deal is. The talk of the town, word around the campfire, Will Smith, Chris Rock, the Oscars. Everybody has had their input except the Hitmen, so we're gonna go ahead and give y'all a little bit of it. We ain't gonna stay too long with it, but got one little fight, my mama got scared, bro. Did you get a chance to see it live, or you caught it on Twitter like everybody else?
I caught it on Twitter like everybody else, because I didn't even know the Oscars was happening like the 90% of the world. Like, so I had to catch it on Twitter.
Ratings came out. This is actually the second least watched Oscars of all time. I think it pulled a 15.3.
Yeah.
Obviously, the highlight of the night was supposed to have been Coda winning Film of the Year. Will Smith taking home Best Actor, but it got overshadowed by, a real bad interaction between he and Chris Rock. Chris Rock made what seemed to be a harmless joke in a monologue. Will Smith took exception to it. The joke was directed at his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. And Will proceeded to get on stage and literally, figuratively lay the smack down. You feel me? Shout out to The Rock, but from there,
if he spit in his hand first, bro, I would have lost it.
If he spit in his
like The Rock did, I would have lost
Shine
it, bro.
Up real nice.
I would have lost it.
You wildin', but yeah. Then from there, it just kind of escalated. I think everybody on the planet was Lupita. You feel me?
Yeah.
Everybody had her reaction, but he was on some keep my wife's name out your mouth. I don't know. Was that on some like Birdman at the Breakfast Club? Was that like I mean, Will Smith notorious for smacking people at award shows. Now I know you remember the clip when he was on the runway on the red carpet and dude tried to kiss him.
Yeah. Yo, I fall in the middle. I'm in the middle where it's like, I'm not mad at Chris for making the joke, so to speak, because he's a comedian, but I'm also not mad at Will's response, because it's kind of like, if you speak somebody's name, you got to be prepared for the consequences that come with it either way, so it's kind of, I kind of fall in the middle on it, where I don't think either one of them was necessarily wrong. I mean, maybe Will should have did it backstage.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. Do it at the after party, do it backstage, something like that. But again, you can't dictate somebody's reaction to what you're doing. I don't know what possessed him to get up on stage, because one of the things that the conversation is going on now is like he knew who to play with. He knew to take that out on Chris Rock. If the Rock made that joke, is he going up there smacking the Rock in the face?
Oh, of course. But I mean, that's most people. I mean, if John Jones walked up to 90% of the world and said something about their family to their face, most people not gonna do nothing to him. So I mean, everybody picks and choose. I mean, you got people who gonna fight people regardless of who they fighting. But I mean, most people do pick and choose. So I'm not tripping off of that.
There have been conflicting reports. Some say that Chris Rock put a statement out apologizing. His publicist and his brother Tony Rock, other notable comedian, came out and dispelled that, said that has not been the case. That's not true at all. I don't even know if you could have handled it better than he did in the moment, because he started to go off into that route. He started to kind of dig his feet into the mud with Will Smith. Obviously, we heard, after that happened, the commercial break, Tyler Perry, Denzel Washington, Bradley Cooper, folks that have been there, have been during that circus scene for a while, we're seeing consoling him, calming him down, and what's supposed to be one of the greatest nights of his life. You feel what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it's tough. But one of the things that I did want to bring up from the fallout, Jim Carrey came out and spoke out about it on Good Morning America. I got the clip right here. He's talking to Gayle King. Check it out.
I was sickened. I was sickened by the standing ovation.
His reaction.
I felt like Hollywood is just spineless, en masse. And it really felt like, oh, this is a really clear indication that we're not the cool club anymore.
There was some question today about if anyone else had walked from the audience and done that, they would have been escorted out by security or maybe even arrested. The police asked Chris if he wanted to file charges. They asked Chris, do you want to file charges? And Chris apparently said no, he did not.
He doesn't want the hassle. I'd announced this morning that I was suing Will for $200 million because that video is going to be there forever. It's going to be ubiquitous. You know, that insult is going to last a very long time. I don't have anything against Will Smith. He's done great things. But that was not a good moment. It cast a pall over everybody's shining moment.
Well, Hollywood doesn't really respond to anything.
If you want to yell from the audience and disapprove or show a disapproval or say something on Twitter or whatever, you do not have the right to walk up on stage and smack somebody in the face because they said words.
No, I agree. I think we all agree on that. I just thought, Jim, that it escalated to that. You know what I mean? That it escalated to that level.
It didn't escalate. It came out of nowhere because Will has something going on inside him that's frustrated, and I wish him the best. I really do. I don't. You know.
Dog, if Mike Tyson went up there and did that joke, you think Will Smith walking on stage?
Of course not. Of course not. He'd be a lunatic.
Jamie, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, like, word around the campfire is they are friends off camera. So I'm sure we'll be right here in the what they call that side seat on the motorcycle. We'll be right in that motherfucker watching the fallout from this. I'm sure it's gonna be a ton of red table talk. Obviously, Chris Rock is going on a world tour, comedy tour, so there'll be something to be said about it.
Boy, and let me tell you, Jim Carrey been getting sauteed on Twitter all day.
Really?
Oh God.
He's not wrong, in my opinion.
Nah, it's because of the he's the celebrity trying to take the quote unquote moral high ground, and people been bringing up his whole divorce situation and all the stuff that came out about that, and I'm like, yikes.
Man,
yeah, bro, they been Jim Carrey been catching hell.
Fab caught hell too. I don't know if you caught that comment that he made.
First of all,
we ain't got to get off into it too crazy, but
yeah, as soon as I see what he said and I seen somebody respond to it, I said, yeah, Fab, go get back in the booth, get off of Twitter fast,
gonna have to get up off of
because they at your neck right now.
When that lines up with like some of the best like coaching meltdowns, or like, I think about Jeff Van Gundy trying to hold Alonzo Mourning, and like Anthony Peeler and KG, Chris Childs and Kobe, rest in peace. Like,
man,
bro, do they even do this in the role? Is Will Smith gonna get invited back to the Oscars at some point?
I doubt it.
Think it's a wrap, right?
Yeah, because apparently they asked him to leave and he refused.
Yeah, because this was 30 minutes before he was gonna get his award.
Yeah, so I doubt he gets.
They saw a bump towards the end. They said it was like an extra 700,000 folks tuned in after it did really good on social media. Everybody kind of tuned into the Oscars to see what was going on. Nonetheless, like I said, still one of the worst viewed Oscars of all time. But he won Best Actor for King Richard. Did you even get a chance to see the film? You saw King Richard at all?
Not yet. Nope. It's on my watch list.
Okay.
I'm trying to make my way through.
We're going to get off of this, man. Just hope everybody, I hope cooler heads prevail.
Will got a triple-double, like Ice Cube said.
Shout out to my dog, Denzel Washington, who came out smelling like roses. You feel me?
Yeah, right.
Always the voice of reason. Always the big dog. The
smacked
true
somebody, didn't get arrested, and won the award. He fucked around and got a triple-double, bro.
Yeah, Denzel had to hold it down, though. I'm waiting on him to come back as in a sports movie, so he can get his just due again. Remember, the Titans was lit. The Hurricane was lit. You feel me?
Training day. You already know it.
I'm waiting on him to get one more before he get up out the game. You feel me?
Shout out to Samuel L. Jackson too, by the way.
Sam Jack, we need him on the show. That's one of my dreams, dog.
He finally got his too, man.
Yeah, man. And they had, look, I don't know if you saw when they presented the award to Will Smith, but John Travolta, after they came up to Uma Thurman, Sam Jack, and John Travolta gave him the award after they were, commemorating Pulp Fiction. John Travolta was like, hey, please don't do me, don't hit me. Non-violent.
Yo, I'm just waiting for the rap bars because it's gonna happen.
Who's the biggest one when it comes to the wordplay? It would have been Fab because Fab
would have been the first one.
I'm thinking Dave East. I'm thinking the game, obviously.
Royce the 5'9" definitely gonna.
Royce,
he gonna definitely throw a bar out there.
There's low hanging fruit for the game for sure.
My boy Sada Baby, man, from Detroit, he definitely gonna throw a bar out there.
Shout out Sada. In the meantime, also we'll get off into the shout outs later on, but I got a big time one for CMG. Let's talk the NBA, man. Boston started the day #1 in the hood, but they took a loss tonight. You had to refresh my memory on it. They lost to tell me again.
Oh, Miami.
They lost to Miami 108-96. So they went from #1 down to #3 that fast. Right now,
they had lost
#4 actually now.
Yeah, because they had lost the game because Miami won. What was that? Yesterday or 2 days ago?
Yeah.
So they had lost that game and then they lost the game tonight. So
Milwaukee back in the 2 spot, followed by Philly, Boston, Chicago in the 5, Toronto's in the 6, Cleveland Cavaliers 7, and then the Brooklyn Nets rounding out the 8th spot. Playing teams are Charlotte and Atlanta at this point right now on the east side. For the West, you got Phoenix still #1 with a bullet, Memphis, Golden State, Dallas, the Nuggets, the Jazz, Minnesota in the 7th spot. The Clippers, after they got PG back last night, feel good, round out the top 8, and then the playing teams, the Pelicans, holding off the Lakers by a game right now.
Should be half a game unless the Pelicans win tonight.
They're playing Portland back in.
It is a game.
Back in the Rose Garden, they gave CJ a standing ovation, welcoming him back to the arena's first game since the trade. Biggest takeaways from this week, man. Obviously, PG coming back last night, leading them to a win. I'm real sure that was an energizing moment for the Clippers, but. What's your biggest takeaway? Mine, for real, was last night. Giannis going for 40, blocking Embiid. Fuck out of here.
Giannis, man. Right now, Giannis is like... And the crazy thing is, Giannis is kind of coasting at the same time.
Yeah, and playing on the MVP level, too. On the MVP level, dog.
So it's good to see that he he locked in still, even if he is kind of coasting a little bit. But the Bucks is locked in right now. I think, for me, the biggest takeaway, Boston, because since we last talked, Boston shot up to that 1 seed, then obviously they just fell back down a little bit, but they've been surging, man, and that defense has been lights out.
That's what I want to talk to you about, though. They lost the Time Lord today. He went under meniscus surgery, 4 to 6 weeks. He's gonna be out. That's a big loss for them because a big reason that they've been so crazy on defense has been with him leading it from a defensive front. You know what I'm saying? Giving the opportunities for Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum to do their thing.
Yeah, and so they said 4 to 6 weeks. So 4 weeks at the earliest would put him back in the first round. And then the 6 weeks would put him in the second round.
Yeah, we got 1 week, 1 full week left in the season. I believe April 10th is the last day of the regular season, so about a week and a half to go.
Yeah, and then they get that 6-day break since the play-in games happen that weekend.
Exactly, the play-in game. So that buys them a little bit of time. But like you said, you still got to work yourself into a lather when you come in off leg injuries, especially with how much bouncing around he does in the post, blocking shots, things like that.
Huge loss.
If they finish at the 4th seed, they'll be playing the Bulls in the first round if things stood pat today. I don't know. I didn't think that I would feel like Robert Williams was this important to them, to their success. But without him, they're a completely different team. You feel me? Marcus Smart got ejected from the game tonight as well.
Yeah. Tatum had picked up a tech. I think Tatum has 13, 14 techs too.
No threes tonight either. Fucked up my parlay. I was trying to win $176,000.
Telling you, bro. I hear that. But bro, they need bro, man. He gave them the one thing they've been lacking all of these years was that true big presence in the middle with the rebound and the shot blocking and then the lob threat on offense. So, Al Horford has played really well for them this year, but he's not the athlete, the lob catcher, or the rim protector that Williams is. So
Word, exactly.
they gonna miss him badly, especially once they get in the series against teams like, if they have to play a Philly or if they got to play a Cleveland or anybody with a good big, they gonna miss Rob.
Do they play Tice at all? He went
they play him some. I mean, they don't have a choice now. He'll be out there to a degree, but Tice is really just gonna be out there picking up fouls.
Yeah,
that's kind of what he do.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Another big takeaway. It seemed like it died down, but there might still be some smoke and fire. That was Jimmy Butler. Like we said, we said Miami's back in the driver's seat at number 1 in the East, but obviously the meltdown, the huge sideline situation between Spoelstra, he and Udonis Haslem. They tried to joke it off a little bit, but there were some takes that were going out where Jimmy Butler has pretty much burned every bridge on every team that he's been to. Been kind of disgruntled everywhere he went for one reason or another. Being in Miami, obviously they all want to win. They've been to the finals, playing the tournament, whatever you want to call it. They've received extended success, and Jimmy Butler was a big part of it. But do you think they have enough to get to the finals, bro?
No.
Nah, straight like that.
I still got the same major issues with the Heat. I don't like Bam playing center. To me, Bam is a power forward.
Okay.
And they need a true center because when you look at, like, for example, what the Lakers did a couple years ago with McGee or Howard along with AD at the 4, right? Or you look at what Cleveland's doing with Mobley and Jared Allen.
Right.
Bam is really a 4, and they need to find a 5. That way you can utilize Bam's defensive talents a lot better. And then offensively.
Do you like Towns and Vanderbilt in Minnesota?
To a degree.
A lesser degree.
Yeah, lesser degree. I still think Vanderbilt isn't on the par of the second guy like the other tandems I mentioned.
Right.
But if you're going to have because the thing with Bam is he's not dominant in the post. He don't really control the paint like that. So you need a big to really control the paint. That way you can get the most out of Bam's athleticism on the perimeter. You know what I mean? And allow him to be a weak side shot blocker instead of the last line of defense. Right. And then, at the end of the day, the big issue is always going to come back to Jimmy Butler kind of being a part-time superstar almost, in the sense of, in more ways than one. Whether it be injuries and him not always being there, or Jimmy has a switch, but the switch ain't always on. And if you can't count on Jimmy to
jiggle that motherfucker,
bro, it's so weird. Like, it'd be some games where Jimmy just look like a beast, right? And the other games, Jimmy would get you 18 points. Like, it's just not gonna cut it as the guy on the championship team. Like, he has to be better, and Bam got to be better on offense too. They just paid Bam what, 180 million or something like that.
150, 160. Something
I look up too many times and I see Bam got 10 shots, 12 shots, 13 shots. Like, that just, like, Tyler Hero shouldn't be the best player on the team.
No, I definitely agree. I don't know if they have enough because effort got them over the top in the bubble. I don't know if effort is going to be enough in order to get them into the finals this year. They've been holding people off all year. They've been, scrappy, but they won injury away, one missed shot away, one effort play away. I think at this point you really got to round out who you're going to assign to go get a bucket when you're down 2 or you're down 3 with 2 minutes left. Like, who's going to keep it close, who's going to keep it tight, who's going to win it for you at the end of the day. And you can't rely on free throws in the playoffs. Like, sometimes you just got to go out there and get a win. And I don't know if Miami has that in them when it comes to postseason. You know what I'm saying? The game slows down. It's not really full court. It's more half-court sets. And Jimmy's never been a dead-eye shooter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's never been a dead-eye shooter. Bam will give you defense. He may give you something like that'll surprise you on the offensive end. But like you said, if it ain't Tyler Hero, if it ain't Duncan Robinson, I actually have zero faith in Oladipo, to be honest with you. I think he's the ghost of Oladipo when he's running around out there.
Yeah, he is.
So with that being said, I feel like Milwaukee's in a primetime spot. Philly is right behind them, and then like you said, Boston, they won them to 29 of their last few games. They were 10 games behind the Bulls in January, and they've passed them now since. And it's about to be April. That's kind of unheard of.
they've been running through people.
Yeah, dog. So it's gonna be interesting coming down the stretch. Things have been getting chippy in a lot of these games, and I'm all the way here for it. I'm loving it because it feels like real basketball as opposed to everybody just standing around playing shoot around. So, I think that's all I got for NBA. Unless you got something on your mind, G.
No, I just shout out to Paul George. Came back and I ain't balled out on Utah. So it's just good to have him back, man. Because I mean, when he's on, man, he's one of the 5 best players in the league.
Yeah, I'm happy.
He plays both ends. So
definitely happy to see PG back, man. It was.
Maybe we can get a Kawhi sighting. Maybe.
Wow.
Hopefully.
Wow. Wow.
Take it
bro.
easy, MJC. Let's talk NFL, man. The news just broke a little bit before we came on. Bruce Arians, now former head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he retired and is chosen to do the Brad Stevens thing, going into the front office, making Todd Bowles the full-time head coach. The Bucs canceled out the final 2 years of his defensive coordinator contract and renewed it with a 5-year head coaching contract, because who the fuck is trying to get paid defensive coordinator money when I'm the head coach? Nobody. So shout out to Todd Bowles in that regard. But I think this is saying a lot without saying it.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Word. The whole Tom Brady situation, the comments that were made in the media, whether or not Todd Bowles was in support of it, amidst the contract, I guess, disputes, negotiations, word around the campfire is it might be something where Tom Brady was initially trying to go and get ownership for the Miami Dolphins. Now it might be a situation where he's asking for a trade to Miami.
Yeah, because they had to, him and Sean Payton was supposed to go team up in Miami, right?
Yeah, man. Now it's looking like obviously he was gone. He was supposed to been on. He's supposed to been on the shelf. Supposed to been done for. And then he comes back after Aaron Rodgers got his money and was like, nah, fuck all that. So he's unretired, back on the Bucs. Godwin got a new deal. Gronk might be coming back. They let Ronald Jones go. Did they re-sign Fournette?
Yeah, they re-signed Fournette. Fournette got, I think, 2 or 3 years, actually. Okay. Ronald Jones went to the Chiefs. They lost O.J. Howard to the Bills.
Yeah.
They had who was it, their center or guard retired. Mm-hmm. So, and then they lost another one to the Bengals, I think. So, another offensive lineman to the Bengals, I think. So,
but even with that being said, a whole lot wasn't lost. So, y'all could have came back and had a really decent campaign, especially still in the South. The Falcons don't really have a quarterback to speak of. New Orleans going to re-sign Jameis, who's unproven. And then Carolina still stuck with Sam Darnold. So, it was Tampa's division to win. So, why does Bruce Arians go upstairs?
Brady.
Let me turn the music down. What'd you say? I couldn't hear.
Brady.
Hello? Hello?
Definitely Brady.
Hello?
You already know.
Little Herm Edwards. Hello? Damn.
Yeah, we've been hearing for about a year now that there's some tension between Brady's and Arians. And even I think when you go back to when Brady first got there and there was that tension between them, and Arians kind of gave up the play calling duties to Byron Leftwich. I think this has a lot to do with Brady and Arians' relationship.
And Leftwich is back, right? After he didn't get hired, he's back as the OC, right?
Yeah, this is very similar to the Celtics.
That's interesting too. Why did they go Bowles instead of going Leftwich?
That I don't know. That's actually a really good question.
Yeah, right?
Because you would think that Leftwich would be the first person you go to, consider him and Brady's relationship.
You would think he'd be the first person to go to. That might have been Arians' recommendation.
Yeah.
Because Arians is an offensive coach.
So that's very odd.
I don't know. Kobe, what you think of it, bro?
Wow. Wow. Wow, bro.
Second thing on the docket, man, we'll keep it locked on that situation because I'm sure that's a story we're going to follow all year. New overtime rules. Both teams actually get a possession. That seems like they stole it away from college a little bit. But before now, and it's only for the postseason. In the regular season, overtime rules are the same. But both teams get a possession. This is obviously in response to, was it the Chiefs game that this happened in?
Yeah, the Chiefs-Bills game.
Yeah. No. It was Chiefs-Bengals, no? Chiefs-Bills.
Chiefs-Bills, yeah.
Okay,
and then before it was
Chiefs-Patriots.
Yeah,
where they didn't get a possession. I guess it's cool. Like I wasn't really tripping about it before. We come from a situation where it's like first team scores, first team wins. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand it, and when you start hearing the numbers about how often the team who wins the coin flip wins,
Yeah.
I think it's like a 90%, like 90+% like chance the team who wins the coin toss wins, and then it's a super even high chance that the team that wins the coin toss scores on their first possession. So I understand that. Plus, I mean, with the league having so many top tier quarterbacks now, you kind of, from a fan perspective, you want to see both quarterbacks get a chance now.
That's true, but last time I checked though, they play offense and defense in football in the National Football League. So how all of a sudden does somebody say, "Oh, we got the #1 defense in the league," until overtime hits? Then it doesn't matter. You just playing against green grass and fresh air. What I think about when it comes to the overtime rules and how I don't really care about it was when you remember the playoff game in Green Bay. When Matt Hasselbeck was like,
you talking about
we're gonna win and we're gonna what the fuck he say? He's like, we're gonna pick heads or something and we're gonna score and we're gonna win. And they got their ass up out of there, smooth, clean. You know what I'm saying? Stabbed them dead and kept a clean white glove. You feel me? Like,
oh yeah, defenses
get paid a lot of money too, man. Like that's the whole point in being a defensive player. If that's the case, then we should just do the National 7-on-7 league.
Like, I think you hit the nail on the head right there. Everything is being moved towards an offensive perspective, and this is definitely a move to go towards an offensive perspective to see both offenses.
Exactly.
This rule change literally has nothing to do with defenses from the league standpoint.
Because it's giving you the notion that people don't want to see defenses, and that's not true at all. That's not true by any standard. But my thing is, if we're gonna place that much onus on offenses to win the games, where are the penalties at? Like, what are the consequences for not being an efficient offense? Because players don't really get moved around like that. If anything, we've been seeing a bunch of players on the offensive end get more money. And the defensive players always have to fight for chump change, or they have to restructure because we can't pay this player and that player and the third player. But it seems like these arguments only apply to offensive players. What's going to happen is we're going to get some all-pro defensive players to come on the show who are going to really tell us what's going on and how they feel about the pay disparity and the favoritism that's being paid towards offensive players. And I'm an offensive minded, you know what I'm saying? I play offense my whole life when it came to football. So I just don't think it does any service to the defensive players or to the game in general. Like, if this is what we gonna do, like, just take the defense off the field, period. Just say, look, y'all got 3 plays to score. Like, no defense, no nothing. Y'all got 3 plays to score. The ball can't touch the ground.
I would have been cool with that. Shit, I would have been cool with something similar to just give both teams the ball on the 20-yard line. You get fucking 2 plays each.
That's how they used to do it in college, right?
Yeah. And let's rock out that way. And then after fucking, and it's mandatory to go for 2. Like, let's just go. Let's just get it. Like, I ain't trying to see a bunch of punts and shit in fucking overtime.
Oh, you and me both, bro. I be out of it. I'm done, bro. I'm cool. Get me out of here. Last joint on the NFL docket, 2 more coaches have come out joining Brian Flores in his class action lawsuit. Brian Flores is actually on an NFL coaching staff right now in Pittsburgh, but he's still going forward with his suit. And now you hear 2 more coaches are supporting it. I'm not going to speculate on which 2 they are, but it's really interesting that you have more people that are joining the cause now, which means that there's more credence to Flores' case. You know what I'm saying? Like, there may actually be, not that I already didn't believe it, but there may actually be a precedent here. Like, there is going to be some changes made within the next few years as long as the stain of this lawsuit is still going to be around.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm pretty sure I know who one of them is because he's been very vocal since the whole thing popped off, and that would be Hugh Jackson. I have no idea, but that's just speculation. But this is going to be a long ride though, because I'm expecting more coaches, not just head coaches. I'm expecting some assistants and coordinators and whatnot to kind of get in on this too. So I definitely think it's going to be a long, drawn out case. So definitely
there was someone that made someone from the NFL made a statement this week saying that NFL teams must hire a minority offensive coach. whether it be coordinator, assistant coordinator, position coach, whatever. I don't know if that's the right course of action or like that's what needs to be made like the standard, but why they went and said offensive coaches, I don't know. Maybe they feel like African American.
That side.
Yeah, maybe they think minority players trend towards offense before defense. But
Which that might be true. Well, because there is a disparity in terms of minority offensive coordinators versus defensive. Like you see a lot of black defensive coordinators in comparison to offensive.
I mean, you see a lot more white quarterbacks in the league than you do black quarterbacks as well, but nobody's talking about that. They're just saying like we need more minority faces on offense in the coaching position, which I'm cool with. Like you want the people that have the power to make changes to come from where you come from, have a cultural, I guess, similarity to where they're going to look out for the ones that matter or the ones that they feel are their interest group, and that would be minorities looking out for minorities. But my thing is talent is always cream always rises to the top. The talent outshines everything else. The politics are just what overarch like most of the time, but it shouldn't be that way. It should be a meritocracy. You eat what you kill. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting that somebody made that statement, and now with the lawsuit getting 2 more plaintiffs in the matter, it's only gonna get spicier from here, man. So make sure y'all keep it locked, man. That's gonna do it for the Bams this week. Again, hit us up in the mailbag with y'all thoughts about the Bams for this week, what y'all feel like is gonna happen in the NBA playoffs. We a week and a half away. What's the deal with the Bucks? Arians going upstairs, leaving Todd Bowles out there with Tom Brady to figure some stuff out, and then the lawsuit. I didn't have any quick hits this week, man, so unless you got something, we can get right into the rundown.
Shoot to the rundown.
All right, straight. Like I said, I got my daughter, the 13 Del Souls, but I'm trying to hold my pennies down for when we get the real lunch. Let's do it. All right, so check it out. We recording this on a Thursday. By the time y'all hear this, it's going to be Thursday. Let's just say that. Pod magic. The 31st, you got a Dunk Low Union Passport. You got a Jordan 1 Mid Light Smoke. You got the Jordan 36 Infrared 23 with the clear sole. This has been much sought after. They got pushed back a couple of times, but this is the bread colorway for the Jordan 36. New Era Capsule 20 2.0 20th season. They got a bunch of hats coming out. The MLB season is right around the corner. We've been going back and forth about which stadium is the best in the league for a couple weeks now. I keep telling you I love Tiger Stadium in Detroit, bro. Y'all got a good one.
Oh, yeah. For America, obviously, I mean, you got classics like, you know, Wrigley and, Boston with the Green Monster.
Fenway,
yeah. I like Houston's, man. I like Houston's.
Minute Maid is dope. Yep. Shout out to Minute Maid Park.
And what's it called up in Seattle for the Mariners?
It was Safe Call. I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I can't remember what they renamed it. And then out in St. Louis, obviously, the Cards Stadium.
Big Bush. That's the newer one. They tore down the old one. I spent a lot of time in Bush. Went to school down that way. Shout out to the Cougars, SIUE. Shout out to SLU.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always gonna rock with the hometown answer.
Big hit pick of the week for me though is the next week, or not even next week, this weekend, April 2nd, the Jordan 1 High Georgetown 85 colorway. We starting to see the Jordan 1 high tops come back. I'm done with the mids. I'm over it. I call me a purist, call me whatever you want to call me. I'm out of there. I need my highs. We finally getting our Chicago ones this year, but we kicking the year off, kicking second quarter off with the Air Jordan 1 85 Georgetown colorway. I think I'm going to try to cop them. If not, I'm going to see if I can circle back on the resale. I don't want to go too crazy, but these are hard. Navy, blue, gray, straight.
Yeah, I rocks with them, man. I rocks with them. I was thinking about getting a Georgetown Iverson jersey too, so if I can't find the questions that match, then you gotta rock it. You gotta rock with them.
And then to round it out, the next time y'all hear from us, you'll have a Nike Dunk High black and white colorway on April 7th.
Pandas? Pandas?
Yeah, Panda High, basically.
Okay.
And then the Adidas Yeezy Quantum Monocarbon, the Yeezy basketball shoe. So, That's gonna do it. We need them pictures. We need them kick pics. We need to see what's up in y'all closets. Hit us up in the mailbag. The Hitmen Podcast at gmail.com. Shoot us what's going on in the closets. What's your cops? What is your shoe of the year candidate so far? What are you looking forward to when it comes to Black Friday, Christmas season? Did you hear that they might be doing a red and white Jordan 11 high top for Christmas?
Mostly red or mostly white? That's going to determine the whole thing.
So basically a Concord with red instead of black.
Ooh. I might need them. I might need them because we got some lows, but we never got the highs.
Right. And we never got them as a retro in real life. I was waiting on them to wear them with the white uni back in '96. You feel me?
Yes.
We'll see. Let's do game show. I keep biting off a winning time. I don't know if you caught episode 4, but it picked up with Jack McKinney coaching the team. But they give me some real good content when it comes to the game show. So we're going to do another Beat the Clock 24-second. And we kind of already got on the subject a second ago. You're going to have 24 seconds to give me as many sports stadiums as you can off the top of the head. It can be basketball, football, baseball, hockey. Some of them playing basketball arenas already. But as many as you can.
Current or old, new, what we got?
As many as you can remember. So if you're talking about the Metrodome, Minnesota, Silverdome, whatever, I need as many as you can give me, and your time is going to start right now.
Let's get the Detroit ones out the way. Cobo Hall, you got the Silverdome, you got Ford Field, you got Comerica Park, you got the Palace of Auburn Hills, Little Caesars Arena, Joe Louis Arena. Let's go to the Chase Center, let's go to the Big House. Let's go to MSG, obviously Barclays. American Airlines. Shit, now I'm starting to blank. Oh, we gotta go with the Smoothie King. We gotta go with the Rosemont. Shit.
You spazzed though. You got over 10, so I'm gonna let you have it. That was hard. Most people couldn't do it. Some people only remember MSG. That's it.
Oh, MSG. You can't forget MSG. I almost said Rucker Park. It's not even a stadium. I was just trying to list them off.
That was cool though. I'm glad you banging with the game show, bro. That was dope.
I tried.
You tried, you succeeded. Give me your shout outs for the week, big dog.
Well, I definitely want to give a shout out to Reebok for not dropping the size 14 and them Lord Zed answers. We're gonna give a shout out to PG for coming back, obviously. I do want to give a shout out to the Michigan women's basketball team for making it to the Final Four.
Round of applause.
Nas Hillman out there hooping it up. Shout out to the city of Detroit, man. We get in the draft in 2 years, the NFL draft in 2 years, and we're going to be on Hard Knocks this year. So.
Big Dan Campbell speeches.
I might have to try to get them tickets for the draft, dog.
Yeah, man, we're going to link up on that one for sure.
I might need, we got to.
I need to get a chicken shawarma from Greektown.
Let's get it.
I need you to take me by 7 Mile. I need you to go take me to all the spots where Lamar was eating his hot dog at BMF. I need to pull up over there too. You gotta pull me around. You gotta take me around the corner so I can give me a Stone Burger. You feel me?
Hey, bro. And last but I gotta give a shout out to Freddie Gibbs, man, who popped up on Power, bro.
Shout out to Freddie Gibbs. Welcome to Gary, nigga.
Yeah, bro. But yeah, man, all I gotta say is, man, I need a sneaker plug. So I'm trying to cop the Rick and Morty, MBO ones, man, the mellow ball joints. Bro, the resale price on them been shot up like almost $200 in 2 weeks. So I need a plug, man. But outside of that, bro, yeah, just again, man, like I always say, man, hope everybody out there doing well, man.
Word. Don't forget the home team. Shout out to the usual suspects on BlitzSportsNetwork.com. The big homie, obviously. M. Jeezy, Justin, Wyatt, Ruben, Calvin, Jesse, Billy Moe, Big Grits. Lord. What's the deal? I'm being New York next week, dog. Let's build. What's up with it? Let me give you my shout out. Shout out to Vanessa Bryant and Nike. They announced that the Kobe Bryant and the Gigi Bryant Nike partnership will continue. They're gonna build a youth center in Southern California. Kobe and Gigi's products will be available. 100% of the net proceeds for Gigi's shoes will be donated to the Mamba and Mambasita Sports Foundation. Shout out to Ray Allen. Per sideline sources, the U.S. District Judge fined Ray Allen for skipping jury duty to attend Kevin Garnett's jersey retirement ceremony. That's big.
Yeah.
That's big. Took a fine for it. That's hard. I want to shout out these 4 people: Rihanna, Tyler Perry, Jay-Z, and Kanye West. Do you know what all 4 of these people have in common, MG?
Black billionaires.
Not only that, but they're black billionaires that none of them have college degrees, none of them have prior work experience, and none of them had any inheritance whatsoever. So they all, when you say they built it from the mud, they got it from the mud. So shout out to them. From the coffin to the penthouse, you feel me?
Yeah, that's right.
I think that's gonna do it. Shout out to the black podcast that I bang with. Obviously, we're waiting on the defining victories. I've been taking up a lot of your time, but I know it's coming back with a bang sooner than later. You feel me? Jay Sims at the Reason to Doubt. Like I said, CJ and Darryl over at I Ain't Going. Shout out Cody Mack, What's the Word TV. Cam, Boogie, and Terry over at the Terry Roseland podcast. My brother Smash with the BU podcast out in Japan. I think that's gonna do it. I want to make sure I cover all the bases, big dog. I'm about to get up out of here in a minute so I can catch this new episode of Snowfall.
Atlanta came back last week. I'm tripping.
I heard. And don't forget Top Boy. You got to get on Top Boy for real.
Oh, yeah, I got to get that. Yeah.
Season 2 was dope. Again, make sure y'all rate, review, and subscribe. The video's in your phone right now. Hit us up. Hit us up. Hit us up. Smash, demolish, decapitate that like button and that follow button and that subscribe. We everywhere that podcast live. Once again, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, all of that shit. You feel me? Make sure y'all check us out in the mailbag, the Hitmen Podcast at gmail.com. The socials are still the same, at Hitmen Podcast, at Labeled and Known, at Virtuoso Sports. And last but not least, don't ever in your life forget about us, kid.
What happened here was a miracle, and I want you to acknowledge it.
All right, it was a miracle. Can we go now?
Like 96, episode 72, we gon' holla.
Out of the target center. Oh! LeBron